A unique civilization arose in this part of East Africa, with what is now Ethiopia and Eritrea at its center, the Kingdom of Aksum. In its heyday in the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, it was described as one of the world's 4 greatest civilizations. The rulers of the Kingdom of Aksum controlled trade between Africa, Arabia, and India. And according to local tradition, Aksum was founded by the son of the legendary Queen of Sheba and is home to the sacred Ark of the Covenant. Ethiopia is also the birthplace of coffee, an enduring gift to a grateful world. Northern Ethiopia, not far from the border with Eritrea. When we examine the history of this region before, during and after the Kingdom of Aksum, it is the history of both Ethiopians and Eritreans today. The early morning mist in the highlands that make up some of the most dramatic landscape of both Ethiopia and Eritrea. This is southern Eritrea, which enjoys a long coastline on the Red Sea, a vital maritime route which helped establish this part of Africa as a hub of international trade throughout the millennia. This is one of the most beautiful, unspoilt stretches of the Red Sea coast. You can see from the clearness of the water that this is one of the last remaining unpolluted marine environments on the planet. I wonder what underwater secrets from the distant past it might harbour. To understand the rise of the ancient Kingdom of Aksum, we first have to delve further back into history to find out more about the people who laid the foundations for Aksum's greatness. We begin with the ancient land of Punt, which is in a region now known as the Horn of Africa. It was the ancient Egyptians who named it Puntland, which means the land of the gods. There's evidence the Egyptians traded with the people here some 3,500 years ago, arriving in their distinctive ships. There are records of voyages to Punt depicted in the temple of Queen Hatshepsut at Dar al-Bahri in Egypt. Punt was an important source of the gold that the Egyptians used to decorate their tombs. Jewelry, perfumes, and oils also formed much of this trade. If you spend some time with the coastal inhabitants of Eritrea today, you soon learn that the people here have never broken with their centuries-old tradition of trading across the Red Sea. The fact that most people in this part of the country can speak Arabic is testament to their links with other cultures. This strategic position on the Red Sea coast meant people from many civilizations of the ancient world interacted with the local inhabitants. However, it was not just trade that made this part of Africa attractive. At its closest point, the Arabian Peninsula lies just 25 kilometers from here on the Eritrean coast. In the first millennium BC, settlers came across the Red Sea from Saba in southwestern Arabia, which is part of modern-day Yemen. They came as traders and farmers in search of fertile land. The people of Saba came to be known as the Sabaeans. They exchanged ideas and skills with the locals. For instance, they developed new irrigation techniques which boosted crop yields, and they shared knowledge of how to manage cattle, sheep, and goats. In time, a port was established at Adulis, which became one of the most important trading centres on the Red Sea, though its location today is no longer on the coast, but about 7 kilometres inland. These are some of the ruins of the port city of Adulis. It is now completely deserted, but this was once a thriving ancient port city, one of the greatest of its time. By the standards of the ancient world, the inhabitants would have enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle. Some of the houses here would have been quite grand. These are the remains of a house in the city. Nobody lives in the area anymore, but we do know that Adulis was once a prosperous urban centre. Much of the land in Adulis remains unexcavated, but archaeologists here in Eritrea are working to uncover evidence of its former glory. Dr. Yosef Lipsikal is the director of the National Museum in the Eritrean capital Asmara, which has on display some of the artifacts found in Adulis. You have 2 small columns that were found in Adulis. What would they have been?
Champion Aurus.
Oh.
እርግጠኛ ነህ?
Okay.
ይሄ የመጀመሪያ ስርጭት ስለሆነ የምታዩዋቸው ወጣቶች በጣም አሪፍ ነገር አድርጓል። የሙከራ ስርጭቱ በዚህ ለማጠናቀቅ ትንሽ ደቂቃዎች ይቀሩታል። ስለዚህ ልዩ የአክሱምና ይሄ ደግሞ አንድ
ስራ ጨርሳ ለመተኛ ስትፈልግ ፈቃደኛ አይደለችም። 8 ሰዓት ካልሆነ እያለች ታጉላላታለች። ምንም አይነት ስራ ሳይኖር ስራ ቢኖር እሰራለሁ፣ ስራዬን ጨራርሼ ቁጭ ብዬ ልተኛ ስላት ደስተኛ አይደለችም ትላለች።
Em 4 bước để anh em giúp cho cái máy của anh em nó mượt mà hơn nha. Đó, anh em nào mà chơi game lắc anh em phải bấm vào cái phần tăng tốc game ở phần dưới bên đây. Sina thì chơi game Free Fire này, đấy, Sina bấm vào Free Fire, đấy, nó sẽ giúp cái con game này mượt mà hơn. Và anh em nào mà chơi game đang chơi game mà nó nóng máy á, anh em bấm vào đây, để nó có hạ nhiệt CPU luôn cho anh em luôn. Anh em nào mà chơi game thì tải cái app này về khá là tiện lợi luôn em ơi.
Tiền cũng chắc em chơi mà có con hút nhỏ đèn màu, các ông quan vẫn thùng
እና ምንም አልሰራም ያለችው ነገር የለም፣ ምንም ያለቻት ነገር የለም። ስለዚህ ይሄ አዲስ ወሬ ነው እንግዲህ ወይ ተምታቶባቸው ሊሆን ይችላል፣ እዚህ ዲየቱ የፈለገችው ነገር ሊኖር ይችላል፣ እኛ አናውቅም። እሷም አታውቅም ምንም አላውቅም። ከዛም በኋላ ፋሲል ምን አለ እዛ የነዚህ ሰዎቹ እዚህ ያሉት ኤጀንሲዎች እዛ ያለችዋ
Sina sẽ hướng dẫn anh em 4 bước để anh em giúp cho cái máy của anh em nó mượt mà hơn nha. Đó anh em nào mà chơi game lắc anh em phải bấm vào
ሁለቱንም ታነጋግራቸዋለች በአስተርጓሚ።
ቀጣይ ፕሮግራም በዚህኛው አሁን በመታዩት የሰለሞን ህልምና እስራኤሎች ማንቃት የሚለው ወታደራዊ ዘርፍ ያለ ምን ይመስላል የሚለው ቀጣይ እንሰራለን። ለዛሬ በዚሁ ቃል መሰክናለሁ። ደህና ደሩ።